one of the questions, young people, especially people as, a coach and as a business consultant, one of the questions most people are asking is, when should I quit my job? Right? So you've had this brilliant idea, this business idea that you just received and it's so exciting and you're feeling all this energy, and you want to quit your job. So the thing you want to do is you don't want to quit your job in uncertainty, right? What does that mean? People will say that, you need to have so number of your salary before you quit your job. Salary that could take you up to 6 months, before you quit your job, right? But that could oftentimes be peculiar to people who maybe want to change job or they are tired of their workplace. But as a business owner, the advice is quite different. As someone who wants to go into their own business, someone who wants to start up their own thing, wants to start up their own service or practice or whatever you're doing, the advice that I would give to you, or the principle, is quite different. Before you can say, because one of the things people assume is they think that running your own business would give you the freedom to sleep when you want to sleep, to wake up when you want to wake up, to do whatever you like. But most people don't understand that the first phase or the initial phase of building your own business is you are going to be working so much more than you were doing from where you were coming from. Why? Because where you are coming from, you are employed, right? Which means that you are just contributing to other people's effort as well, right? Which also means that there's already a system that you are filling in, working in, that generates revenue. And regardless of what happens, they get to pay you salary at the end of the month. But when you start your own business, which is what most people don't understand, when you start your own business, you are operating in a different terrain, a new level, which means that as the business owner, whether you've employed other people or not, as a business owner, your profit or your revenue is dependent on what you actually execute, or the number of products that you are even actually able to sell yourself. Or if you hired people, or the number of products that you are able to sell or engineer or motivate your team to be able to sell. Which means that revenue is not consistent or constant as it used to be in your former place of work. And people don't understand this, so they just venture into their business, venture into their idea with no backup revenue, with nothing to spend, and then in the first month, second month, because there's this vision, there's this assumption that people have that the moment I open shop, the moment I start my own business, people will start patronizing me left, right, and center because they've seen people maybe patronize where they're coming from, right? But oftentimes that's not the case. Right, so what you want to do is, before you can even quit your job, you want to make sure that your business, that the business you want to start, already have a system, or already has a system of generating 3 times revenue of what you were earning as an employee. Now, the reason this is important is this: there's operational costs, there's profit, and there's what you would call savings for your business, right? So you want to make sure that your business is generating at least 3 times of what you used to earn before you can actually say, oh, you want to quit your business and you want to quit that job and start your own business, right? Because if that's not the case, one of the things that's going to happen to you is you're going to start your business and experience business is filled with a lot of, surprises. Right? So when the surprise comes and there's no way that you are able to, sort those things that are coming as challenge to your business, it leads to frustration. And this is why you have people start their own business, it doesn't work out, they go back to looking for a job and all of that. So you want to make sure that you already have structures to your business. And it's quite easy. One of my mentors used to say that being an employee is an opportunity to build people's stuff while you even build your own. And people will say, oh, I don't have time to build my own business while working on it. It's actually lazy people that used to say this. And I know this might be controversial to some people, right? Because people, one of the things you don't understand is you can use the 9 to 5 to build the person's business where you're working. And then you use that between 5 to 9 to build your own business. And then if the first response in your mind right now is, won't I rest? Then you're not even ready for the business, right? Because that's basically what you're going to be experiencing when you build your own business. You're working around the clock, so that's what you want to do, and you want to be able to apply in your business. You want to be able to apply as a principle before you can even think of quitting your own job. Because see, the business world is different from the labor market where you're being employed. It's different, and there is a lot of assumptions. You think, you have an exaggerated opinion of yourself or your product that you think once you just pull it out, people will start buying and everybody's rushing you and all of that. That is not always the case. So you want to have a plan, you want to have a structure in place before you can actually go all in for that. And this is something that I actually implemented in my own life. Before I was able to even quit the job that I was doing, before I started my own business, Own Your Brand, one of the things we did was we already put in structures, structures of getting customers, structures as in a team, and structures as a person, kind of disciplines that you need to be able to run a successful business. Thank you for listening.